Worked for a major memory supplier. In fact, it was the only one in Europe. I ended up in Germany for the last few years working for them. 2 years ago, we were the biggest or second largest supplier of memory products in the world. Last year, we made losses of 2 billion euros, and the company went into liquidation in January. So my job was gone, and a whole industry, in fact, has disappeared because they were the only supplier in Europe.
And how difficult has the search been to get a replacement job?
I've applied since I came back from Germany for over 220 jobs, and I've had one interview so far.
One interview?
One interview, yes.
And do you get letters back detailing why they're not prepared to see you?
In most cases, no. Most of it's through agencies over the internet. You tend to apply online, and you just get a one-liner on the bottom of the application, the automated application acknowledgement, which says if you don't hear in a few days, then you weren't successful. I've actually been trying to move into a different branch of work. And into web design and internet marketing, but again, I suffer there from insufficient experience.
Yeah, a lack of experience. In terms of the help that you've received, I suppose government help at job centres, take us through what that has been like.
Well, to be honest, I've been a white collar worker, and I've read in the press over the last few months that there's supposed to be special help for white collar workers, but unfortunately I've yet to find it.
Dan, what about you? Have you had much help from any of these interested bodies?
Well, I find the job centre not very good. They offer a service for the jobs, but it just seems to be positions that are already advertised by recruitment agencies and public sector jobs, which can be found sort of on the internet anyway. So they don't offer anything new, any new avenues to go through. When you go to the job centre each week, they don't look at what you've been applying for. So there's not really much feedback they can give you if they're not knowing what you're doing in the first place.
So you're heading for a year unemployed in December. What do you think the prospects are of you getting a job in the near future? I mean, we hear positive news about the fact that we seem to be heading out of recession, but at the same time, unemployment levels are increasing.
Yeah, I will just keep on doing what I do. I apply for as many jobs as I can apply for each week, and hope that something comes up. You know, there's no more that you can do. So
is that your day, basically just scouring job ads and sending off applications? It must be quite disheartening.
It can get very disheartening, and a lot of the jobs that you apply for that come through on emails from recruitment websites, etc., you click on them, you follow through to go to apply for them, and it tells you you've already applied for that position 3 months in the past. So it gets very disheartening trudging through endless amounts of jobs that actually probably don't exist.
And in terms of your financial situation, what is the situation for you?
Well, life on the dole is not easy, but for me, being a single sort of young man, I can just about cope with it, but if I had a family, I don't really know how I would.
Steve, in terms of your situation, I mean, you were saying how many applications you sent off and how little response you've had back. You're 54, you would have read all of those articles which talk about people in that age category being thrown on the scrap heap. Do you ever think along those lines and think perhaps my working life is over? Do you ever have those thoughts?
Yes, and I can understand why, to be honest, but I'm not that sort of person to sit back and wait for things to come to me. So I've decided that I've got to get myself out of it. If I can't get someone to employ me, then I'm going to create my own business and do it myself. But not so many people are fortunate enough to be in that situation to be able to do that.
and Joanna was asking Dan about financially how hard. Just give us a sense of, for you, for your family, how hard the last 6 months have been.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I've been separated and I'm now divorced from my ex. But I'm not been in a situation where I can pay maintenance for my children. Basically, I get £65 a week, and that's it. So I'm living off my savings.
Well, Steve Wood and Dan Young, thanks very much for taking time to speak to us here this evening. Thanks to you both.
Thank you very much.